regular meeting of the successor agency is called to order. City Clerk, roll call, please. Roll call. Shh. Yes, ma'am. City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you. Agency members Ramirez,
Here. Here.
Valencia, I see here. Vice Chair Perez.
Here.
And Chair Ayala.
Here. Consent calendar, there's 2 consent items for consideration. Is there a motion to approve?
Move it.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Agency members Ramirez,
Aye.
Valencia. Vice Chair Perez.
Aye.
And Chair Ayala.
Aye. Is there anyone wishing to speak under oral communications?
I don't have any speaker cards for the successor agency.
Okay, if being that no one's wishing to speak, this meeting's adjourned. Okay, I'm calling to order the regular meeting of the Norwalk City Council, Invocation and Pledge. This evening, we are honored to welcome April Reuter from Prairie Norwalk Church once again to lead the invocation. Pastor April has been serving for over 30 years in Norwalk. She is most inspired by the children's faith and seen them ask God for big things and anticipate his answers. Following the invocation, we invite 8-year-old Eli Martinez, student from New Harvest Christian School, for the flag salute. Eli takes keyboard classes at his school. He enjoys playing football and basketball through the City of Norwalk Youth Sports. His favorite thing about Norwalk is golf and stuff. Everyone please stand as they both lead us separately in the prayer and the flag salute.
All right, let's pray. God, we just thank you for tonight, Lord. We invite your presence to just cover this meeting. I'm thinking of your word in Proverbs. It says, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and your plans will succeed. So that's what we pray tonight, God. We pray over this agenda that the plans would succeed. We pray your favor over our city leaders. We pray that you would give them strength and wisdom, that they would have unity on the essentials. We pray your blessing over our finances, over our social services, over our sheriff's department, over our public safety. Just coat our city with your presence, Lord. We pray that Norwalk would be a city on a hill where other surrounding cities would look to Norwalk and say, what is different here? What's going well? It's because you're here, God, because you bless those you love and you love the city. So tonight we just thank you for what you're going to do, God. We anticipate great things tonight, and we just commit this meeting to you. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Clerk, can I have a roll call, please?
Councilmembers Ramirez, Valencia,
Here.
Vice Mayor Perez,
Here.
and Mayor Ayala.
Here. Next item is council comments. We'll start with Councilmember Ramirez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have no comments this evening.
Okay. Next for comments would be Councilmember Valencia.
Thank you. I just want to say how wonderful it was to see so many faces, so many wonderful people, and so many staff, as well as our city manager, our city attorney, and our council member who actually ran the 5K, the Norwalk 5K. It was a wonderful time, and let's give them a round of applause because they did really well. And of course, that applause is also applied to our Director of Recreation and Park Services and his staff. Yes, they did a fabulous job of organizing everything, and our volunteers, and it was just a fabulous time. Can't wait for next year. I'm going to try to get there like extra early or something to be able to do it because it's fun giving out the medals, and that's like amazing, but I think it'd be fun to actually walk it. Jog walk. I don't know. That would be great. I just also want to, I know I said it last time, but not realizing that we're going to come back again today, but our Norwalk La Mirada students are graduating, promoting, moving forward from TK to K, from K to first. And even our Southeast Academy, our adult schools, they're all moving forward. And that was one of my favorite things as school board member in Norwalk La Mirada for 19 years. It was one of my favorite things. And it still is. It's a little bit harder this time to go. But I just want to say congratulations to all the graduates. Marta Mesa, congratulations to you as well from Cerritos College, yet another degree, so congratulations to you. So let's give an applause to Martha and all the graduates, please. All right, and that's all I have, Mayor.
Vice Mayor Perez.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out on this gloom June weather day. Just want to point out our Norwalk Now did hit everybody's mailboxes this past weekend. And there's a few things in here I really want to call out and ask you to pay attention to. There is on the front page an article about our updated fee schedule and a QR code that'll take you directly to our website with some more information. There's also a survey wanting to know how you're enjoying the Norwalk Now. So use the QR code. We try to make it as simple as possible. The other one that is here is we've gotten off and on several comments from residents and business owners wanting Norwalk swag and Norwalk apparel. And there is a survey right here on the front page of the Norwalk Now asking you, if you had Norwalk swag, what would you want? Do you want historical landmarks? Do you want the logos? Do you want t-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, whatever? We hear you say and ask the questions if there are any for you to purchase. Now we want to know, what do you want to purchase? So please take the time to fill out those particular surveys for you. There's also on the inside, under the community safety zone, there is now an opportunity for gun prevention and safety. So each household can get 2 free gun locks. There again is a QR code there for you to obtain more information on how to get those gun locks for your home. So we want you to be safe. So pick up your Norwalk Now and answer those surveys because we want to get as much information from you as possible. I too just want to commend our entire Norwalk community, our neighboring cities and residents, our running teams, our schools. There were so many schools there that wanted shout outs, But if we shouted out every single school and every single running team, there wouldn't be time for running. So a huge congratulations to everybody that participated. Here is your shout out. You did it. You finished one way or another. Congratulations. And a huge kudos to our entire team, to our sheriff's department, our fire department, our entire city family, public services, public safety, recreation, administration, you name it. The music was amazing. It was a great day to be in the city of Norwalk. And finally, I just want to wish everybody a very happy Father's Day, because we will be celebrating all of our dads in our city before our next council meeting. So to our dads, grandpas, uncles, friends, companions, happy Father's Day. Enjoy making those memories. That's all I have tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Basically, I just want to echo the thoughts of my colleagues regarding the 5K. It's hard to imagine it's only a second annual, because I've seen these. I've talked to people that have participated in these things for years, and they all made the comment that ours was better by far than other ones that were hosted by cities and at the city level. And we had more people. It was just awesome. I mean, it was hard to imagine, given how good it was last year, that it would actually be better this year. But, you know, you did it, Alan. So that's, you know, I think that's something that we really should be very proud of. And again, I mean, it gets into a chapter like Jennifer, when you start trying to thank departments and stuff that participated, because this is like one of those all hands on decks events. So I don't want to miss, but I would just like to ask the city manager to please pass on to the staff what an outstanding job they did, and the sentiments of the council over that. But that's all I have.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our council meeting today. Very strange weather we're having, right? It was raining, thunderstorms earlier. Very, very interesting weather. I also want to take this opportunity to thank staff for all of the hard work that was put into coordinating and executing our 5K. It is definitely one of our most popular events, and our goals to stress the importance of health and wellness. That's why we introduced that into our community. I was very, very happy that it was a go for the first time last year. This year, our second annual, but keeping in mind that, you know, it's about wanting to encourage health and wellness in our community. It's very, very important to me, very, very important to us. And as other cities, as we look at what other cities are doing in terms of their events that draw crowds, we want to do the same. You know, we want to do that, and I think the 5K is an example of just that. And so very, very happy with the turnout. And as any event, after an event, we debrief. And so with every one that we do, we get better. So we tweaked a little bit for this year's. And so, as I said, we debrief, and every event gets better and better. And again, it's really truly for our community. And we have people, runners, walkers, joggers that come from all sorts of places. I know one of the top gentlemen that ranked for his record in completing the 5K was from Newport Beach. No, it wasn't council member. I kept looking for you. I know you started the line, but I was waiting for you at the finish line. ¿Qué pasó?
It's because he took the shortcut.
I climbed on his back and we got through.
So I told this gentleman, I'm like, you know, congrats, because he got a good, $500 for 14 minutes of work is not too bad, right? I think that was his time. And so I told him, I said, make sure when you share, you let everybody know this was in Norwalk. And so he was super excited. And we did have, our council member Ramirez, we had our city manager, we had our city attorney, a lot, different staff. And the best part for me is that they bring their families along. They bring their families to come and participate. The excitement from our youth, the young kiddos, is very, for me, very, very heartfelt, and it's awesome. Today, I think, was, at least in the local area, was the first day of high school graduations. So I know I mentioned this the last time, but I do want to congratulate all of our high school seniors. Job well done, and much success to all of them and whatever their future endeavors are. But very, very proud of our graduating class, 2025. Yesterday, as a matter of fact, I was able to stop in for the Norwalk High School softball team, girls softball team, got together for their banquet, end of the year banquet, where they also celebrated the athletes, but also gave awards for the scholar athletes, meaning those young ladies that did not just played sports, and some of them played multiple sports. Like I know some played baseball, they also played volleyball, but they also earned a really good GPA in the process. So Dr. Olea, he was there supporting his students. And that's another thing that's really always amazing to see, is when the principals, the administrators, the employees are there supporting their students. It really goes a long way to see that they have that support. I also want to thank Blessings. I call her the voice of Norwalk because she, comes and sings beautifully at our events. And so thank you for doing that at our recent 5K. You were there. And with that, I just want to wish everyone a great summer, whatever you decide to do in the next couple of months. Don't forget to do it in Norwalk, obviously, whether you shop, go to the park, eat, hang out, please do it in Norwalk. Whatever you do, have fun and stay safe. That's all, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. Could I have, Mr. Glassman, can I have a city attorney report on closed session, please?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. The record should reflect that the City Council convened into closed session for the 3 items that were listed on the agenda. Prior to recessing into closed session, those items were announced in open session for discussion. That Mayor Ayala, Vice Mayor Perez, and Councilmember Ramirez were present in closed session to discuss those items. There was no action taken that is required to be reported on any of those items this evening. However, direction was provided to the City Attorney's Office with respect to those matters. That concludes my report from closed session. It's appropriate to continue with the open portion of the meeting at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Glassman. No.
I just wanted also to take this moment and ask that we close in memory of Police Officer Riveros, the officer who was killed in the line of duty, and he served the city of Baldwin Park. And so I would like to close in his memory and ask everyone to please remember to honor the sacrifice that he made in service to his community. So if I can also just have a moment of silence to reflect on the loss in our law enforcement community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Margaret. Tonight we're proclaiming June as Men's Health Month in the city of Norwalk. We are proud to proclaim June as Men's Health Month in the city of Norwalk to help remind our community of men and boys to take charge of their overall health. As part of this recognition, we are highlighting the Social Services Department and their men's support group. This program was launched in October 2024 by Frank Ceballos and Miguel Ochoa. The safe space was especially created for young men between the ages of 15 to 25, where they can ask for help, share, or reflect on self-care and friendships rooted in trust. We thank the social services team for their commitment. We encourage all men in our community to prioritize their well-being. I have a proclamation that we're going to present here in a minute, but let me give you a little bit what we have here. It says, whereas Men's Health Month is observed each June to raise awareness of the importance in the physical, mental, and emotional well-being among men, including of young age, to be encouraged in practicing early detection, healthy lifestyle choices, and overall wellness. And whereas Norwalk Social Services Program, named the Men's Support Group, was founded in October 2024 by Frank Ceballos and Miguel Ochoa. It was created to address the unique challenges that young men face between the ages of 15 and 25, offering mentorship and a support system to help them navigate life's crucial developmental years. Whereas the Men's Support Group strives to help its members grow into confident and resilient individuals by fostering accountability and self-improvement through peer support. And whereas the Men's Support Group aligns with the mission of Men's Health Month by advocating for the importance of mental and physical health, along with the encouragement of prioritizing self-care and positive lifestyle habits. Whereas the City of Norwalk recognizes the purpose of the Men's Health Month, along with the Men's Support Group, for its commitment to fostering trust and empowerment among young men in our community. Now, therefore, I, Tony Ayala, Mayor of the City of Norwalk, on behalf of Vice Mayor Jennifer Perez and my fellow council members, Rick Ramirez, Margarita Rios, and Ana Valencia, do hereby proclaim June 2025 as Men's Health Month in the City of Norwalk and encourage all men to take proactive steps towards maintaining their mental, emotional, and physical health. Let's welcome the representatives from the Men's Support Group to the front to receive this.
I'm from the hood, so Boyle Heights. It reminds me of.
Oh, the same?
Yes. Am I going?
Hi, I'm Margarita. Very nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Hi, nice to meet you. Margarita Rios. Margarita, yeah.
And your last name is Rios?
Yeah, Rios.
I'll take out my glasses so you can see my eyes.
Okay, good.
And this is my mom's eyes. They're very foreign.
Do you want to, what would you like, where are you comfortable standing?
At the middle of the sun.
Oh, absolutely. Why don't we,
These are the wrong ones. Actually, I'm gonna hold my glasses. No, like, because we gotta take it. No. At the red stop.
Tonight's the honor of the City Council recognize Rachel Contreras as the Older American nominee by Los Angeles County. Our next recognition is going to a truly inspiring community member. We are proud to honor Rachel Contreras, Norwalk's nominee for the Los Angeles County Older Americans Award. It's a countywide program to be selected to represent Norwalk is a really big deal. She was chosen for her dedication to serving our community for over 40 years. She helps at the Norwalk Senior Center, Social Services, Knights of Columbus, and the Norwalk Women's Club. She is currently the vice chair in the Senior Citizens Commission at the Senior Center. Rachel, congratulations. And I'm going to read this commendation we have for you, and then when I'm done, you can come forward and we will get a photo with you. Okay. Whereas Rachel Contreras was selected as the City of Norwalk's nominee for the 2025 Los Angeles County Older Americans Recognition Day, she volunteered for over 40 years with Norwalk at Senior Center, Social Services, Knights of Columbus, and Norwalk Women's Club. And whereas Rachel has been a proud Norwalk resident for 72 years, beginning her volunteer journey by preparing Christmas and Thanksgiving baskets for families in need. And whereas Rachel was honored at the 60th annual OARD program hosted by Los Angeles County for outstanding contributions under the theme of Flip the Script on Aging, which celebrates dignity, strength, and the value older adults bring to their community. And whereas Rachel has expanded her outreach by regularly collecting non-perishable food and pet supplies for the social services pantry and organizing donations to support homeless individuals. And whereas Rachel currently serves as vice chair of the Norwalk Senior Citizens Commission at the Senior Center, where her leadership continues to uplift and support Norwalk's older adult community. Now, therefore, I, Tony Ayala, Mayor of the City of Norwalk, on behalf of Vice Mayor Jennifer Perez and my fellow council members Rick Ramirez, Margarita Rios, and Ana Valencia, do hereby commend Rachel Contreras for her service and dedication to the community. The City of Norwalk looks forward to the continued impact of your service. Please come forward, Rachel.
Congratulations. You look beautiful. I know. My commissioner. So proud of you. You're doing great.
Rachel, congratulations.
I hope you get a whole countywide thing.
Let's get you over here to the center.
There it is, the center of attention right now.
Okay, that's the mayor right next to you. You're good.
It's like having John
Is that what you said? Don't pop a wheelie.
Next, we would like to recognize the talented local artists who participated in our Norwalk Utility Cabinet Art Program. On behalf of the Art and Public Places Committee, staff requests student volunteers to draw and paint a design within one of the approved art themes on utility cabinets throughout the city. As of this date, 18 cabinets have been painted. Their locations and pictures can be found on the city's Art and Public Places webpage. These young artists help transform ordinary cabinets into beautiful works of art. The theme for this featured cabinet was based on animals and supporting adopting a pet. To each of our artists, thank you for sharing your talent. Please come forward as Ms. DeVoy, who is a staff liaison of the committee, calls out your name to receive your certificate and take a group photo.
Thank you. Let's start with Lauren Brown. Are you here this evening with us, Lauren? If she couldn't make it, we will make sure she gets her certificate. Celine Diaz. Next, we have Amanda Heather. Amanda, are you here? And last, the fourth one who painted the box was Valerie Marquez. Valerie here? Okay. Well, it looks like we have our one representative today for our 4 painters. I'm not- Family member?
Or Victoria? No. Okay, here we go.
Is he representing one of our artists today?
Okay, can I have everyone look this way? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Go one more. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Our final recognition goes to an exceptional young athlete from the Norwalk Stingrays swim team. I should say the famous Norwalk Stingray swim team. We would like to honor Reiko Runes for his representation of our city as he swam at the Southern California Age Group Championships. Reiko qualified and finished first place in both of the 50-yard and 100-yard breaststroke heats of his events. Reiko, you set an example as a role model for aspiring young athletes. Congratulations, and keep making waves. Well, we already gave it a big round of applause, but let's do it again. Let's give a big round of applause as we welcome Reiko Runes to the front for a certificate and group photo. We have come to the portion of the meeting for city manager comments. Mr. Gomez, please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Ayala and members of the City Council. Tonight, I'd like to start out with a topic that ended our meeting at our last council meeting, and that was rent control and affordable housing. And what we like to do is to showcase our affordable housing in the city, and also provide the community with the assurance that we're going to continue to do and build affordable housing with our continuing projects that are coming online. And with that, I'd like to be able to show a video. It'll become a PSA for our city that really highlights the commitment of the community, the city council, to build affordable housing, and more to come. The walk has affordable housing units. The Transit Village has affordable units as well, and those are 40% of the total units. So we will continue to provide affordable living units to our community. With that, if we can play the video.
For decades, Norwalk has built a legacy of providing critical housing and social services for our community. Through the Norwalk Housing Authority, over $10 million in federal funds supports housing assistance programs like Section 8, the emergency housing vouchers, and project-based vouchers. The Community Development Block Grant Program, funded by HUD, provides $1.1 million for affordable housing, utility assistance, and social service support. Additionally, the Home Investment Partnerships Program brings in over $2.3 million, funding security deposits, nonprofit housing development, and affordable housing through the Home ARP program. On the state level, the Cal Home Grant injects $3 million into local housing development and rehabilitation efforts. Meanwhile, Norwalk's proactive homeless outreach through the HOPE team is backed by $537,000, partially funded by the American Rescue Plan Act, providing direct support, housing placements, and emergency lodging. Finally, our Social Services Department manages over $4.2 million in funding for food, shelter, senior nutrition, and childcare programs, ensuring essential support for our most vulnerable residents. Together, these efforts showcase Norwalk's strong history of funding solutions for housing affordability and community well-being.
And so in that video, it demonstrates the commitment from the City Council. And that $10 million is annually. Those are vouchers for rental assistance to our community. We also have the CDBG, the Community Development Block Grant, which is on the agenda tonight. But that also includes affordable housing, utility assistance, and social service support. We have nonprofit developments through the Home and ARP program. The Cal Home Grant, we have, it's a grant from the state that provides for down payment assistance in the tune of $200,000 per family. We also have the commitment of the City Council for social services, which provides an array of services for families in crisis, those that are have food insecurity, shelter insecurity, nutrition program, child care programs, and ensuring essential support for our most vulnerable residents. And not to say that our HOPE teams, the total cost annually is $1.1 million. We have 2 HOPE teams that cover 7 days a week, and we're able to assist those that are ready to be helped with a variety of services and also housing as well. So I just wanted to sort of give the community an update. These are just programs that are existing. Like I mentioned, we do have other projects that are coming online that will also have affordable housing units. And this is just to show those that were in our meeting in attendance last meeting that we are committed to affordable housing here in the city of Norwalk. So with that, I will go on to publicly recognize those that were involved in the 5K because it is a large event. It is an event that attracts from all over the region. Our director, Alan Perdomo from Recreation and Park Services, thank you for leading the charge, which also included the Department of Public Safety, Public Services, Public Affairs, and many other staff members who made it happen. I was not here at the 3 a.m. Orientation kickoff for staff, but I heard it went really well. But it was at 3 a.m. So lots of preparation to get this type of event coordinated and be able to have a very successful event. So again, thank you to all the departments and the staff that were involved. Next, we have a mosquito control awareness, Greater Los Angeles County Vector Control District update. As we experienced today, it rained. It is the time that we're going to be getting some rains, but it's also hot during the day. So it is a time for mosquitoes to become part of our environment, especially if there's ponding water. And so we wanted to just make sure that our community is aware of how to deal with the ponding water and what it means. So we have with us tonight to present a great presentation. And I didn't get your name, so...
David Palin.
David. So welcome. Welcome to the city of Norwalk. Please.
Thank you for that introduction. And I really want to thank this distinguished council for the opportunity to speak, and a special thanks to Councilman Member Rios for the personal invitation. He serves on our board. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. We are a Greater Los Angeles County Vector Control District. A little bit about us. We are the largest of 5 vector control districts serving Los Angeles County. We don't just do mosquitoes. We have black fly and midge control as well. And we are doing this for a total of $18.97 annually to those single-family homeowners. So I would say reasonably priced. But the reason why we're here, as we were talking about earlier, is that there is a mosquito-borne disease risk. These are our numbers from last year. We had over 140 travel-related cases of dengue fever. That is bone-breaking fever that you do not want. And one of those other diseases that we're always on the lookout for is West Nile virus. In addition to that, occasionally there is some St. Louis encephalitis. So we want to make sure that those things are not contracted by your residents. So I want to go into a little bit of what we do to combat these mosquitoes and the mosquito-borne diseases. We believe in IVM, or the integrated vector management, and that comprises of surveillance, control, and education. So I'm going to briefly go into each one of the departments within the district that service each one of them, starting with the control. So the control starts off with probably what you all see if you see us round about our high visibility activities, responding to those service requests. So if you call us, go in those emails, or even go to our website and click our service request form, you'll usually see one of our technicians come out. We also have an 80s response team, especially if there is a local case of dengue. But next, you'll probably see some of our medium visibility activities. So we go into those single routes, and they go around your city of Norwalk, as well as we have a swimming pool program. So if those green pools, or you have a neighbor that has some of those green pools, you can go ahead and call us, and we'll treat it with our mosquito fish that will eat those mosquito larvae. And last but not least, from the medium visibility is our street gutter cleaning. So we will go, that's one of our vehicles there, and it is custom made so that they're able to drive as well as treat the gutters as they're driving. But these are some of our low visibility things that residents traditionally do not see, is our underground storm drain system team, as you can see popping up in those manholes to treat those underground areas, as well as our flood controlled channels. So after storms, things like that, that brush and debris can pull up those that water, that stagnant water that can be a huge breeding source for mosquitoes. So just to kind of show, and for those in the back, all those little dots are the actual activities that we have performed in Norwalk in 2024. So it amounts to a little bit over 3,000 interactions where we were doing inspections, treating ponds, as well as those stormwater structures. So a lot of work, and we are continuing that work this year. But that's not the only department we have. We have that surveillance piece, which is our scientific and technical department that surveillance is the black fly. We also are trapping the mosquitoes, the mosquito identification, as well as dead bird testing. So if you see dead birds, that's usually an indication of West Nile virus. So we collect those and we test them for West Nile virus. But what we're most excited about is our sterile insect technique. This is one of the techniques and ways that we are utilizing climate and environmentally friendly operations to fight mosquitoes. It's mosquito on mosquito warfare, if you think about it like that. And the best thing about it, it is not genetically modified. I'm gonna say that again, it's not genetically modified. We X-ray sterilize these male mosquitoes because it is the female mosquito that bites. And we release these male mosquitoes, these non-biting male mosquitoes, to mate with the female mosquitoes so that their offspring are not viable, okay? So why this is important is, like I said, this is environmentally friendly, it's non-chemical, it results in decreased population of mosquitoes, and once again, it is good for our environment. So we're really excited about this. We've piloted this, and we're looking to spread this district-wide. But last and not least is my department. I'm the communications manager, so we are doing other presentations like this at other city council meetings, but we also have a youth education program serving elementary school, looking to go into high school as well as middle school. But we also have a lot of information on social media and physical brochures that we share. So I will say this is usually the slide that I say partner with us, but I want to thank Levy and your team here because you already are great partners with us with the digital billboards that we have planned, the information that you already share on your website. We are really grateful for partners that are already seeing what's going on down the pike as far as mosquito season goes. All I can continue to ask you all to do is encourage residents to complete those service requests so that we can treat those sources that may be hard to reach and hard to find. And like I said, I really just want to say thank you because usually this is a slide where we're asking for help. It's more so thanking you for the help that you already are getting. And with that, I'll open it up to any questions.
I just have one, if I may, Mr. Mayor. Has there been discussion about educating residents of plants or flowers that repel mosquitoes and black flies?
Yes. So we usually recommend for those people who want a little bit more organic, that oil of eucalyptus, but the plants themselves, we try to give information that they are not the best. The best thing for residents is repellent. So whether it's DEET, IR 3535, or like I said, oil of eucalyptus, those are the best ways. Those plants really can sometimes even pool the water and become breeding sources themselves after a while.
Because I think last year we had that specific breed of mosquito that was tiny black stripe that were just vicious and were abundant in Norwalk that were just tearing people apart.
Absolutely.
Right? So I was always wondering if there's organic ways of planting shrubbery and plants around your house, not only to repel, but also we also need to address the stagnant water, puddles of water that collect in planters, pots, barrels, etc. So thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, David, for a very concise and brief presentation. Really appreciate that. And I just wanted to add something to what Councilmember Ramirez mentioned, because I know that I had a service request last year, And one of the things that I learned about that I didn't really give much thought to before was because I love flowers and plants, and I have a lot of those, and I didn't really think about the bottom basin that a lot of planters have, when you water them, collect the water right around, And so when the technician came out, they actually showed me, this part of the problem, and then they showed me these are like larvae, and I'm like, I didn't really think about. So obviously I changed my planters that I don't have that collector on the bottom where the water sits. So sometimes things like that. I know many families and homes here have beautiful landscapes, so just something for them, to think about.
Absolutely, because it only takes a bottle cap size of water to be a breeding source. So
yeah. So thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you, David. Next, it is that time where the Chamber of Commerce presents a quarterly update, and our Executive Director, Karen Spilsbury, is here to give us an update on all of the activities that have happened and are going to happen. So, Karen.
First, though, I want to volunteer for the SIT program. I got those ankle biter mosquitoes in my yard all the time. So, good evening, Mayor Ayala, Vice Mayor Perez, and council members Ramirez, Rios, and Valencia. City Manager Jesus Gomez, thank you for inviting the Norwalk Chamber here again to spend a little bit of time updating you on our activities over the past 3 or 4 months since I was here last. So, some of the activities that have gone on since the last time I was here was our annual mock interviews, which we've talked about before, but it's an amazing program with our Norwalk Education Alliance that many of you in the room are a part of. So we were able to work with over 200 students to give them a practice job interview and hopefully give them a leg up when it comes to the actual job of getting a job. And then we had our 12th annual 9-hole golf tournament at the Don Knabe Golf Center. A lot of fun. Some of you were also out at that golf tournament. It's a beautiful day, no rain this year, and the winners are not in the room. So the losers aren't in the room either. So we won't talk about who won and who lost. We also had a great time at our Angels versus the Dodgers baseball mixer, of which the Dodgers won. So that was happy for most of the crowd that was with us, except for a few. But it was a great time because we had well over 250 members of various chambers of commerces from South LA County and North Orange County attend and network with each other. And then we had our coffee with the quadrant officer for quadrants 3 and 4 to introduce the new quadrant public safety officers to the residents and businesses in those quadrants. We thank Diana's Restaurant for hosting us for that event. It was a great time and it was very well attended. And of course, we continue with our business visits on a regular basis, dropping in to visit the members, surprise them, say hello, bring a membership renewal, and just try to find out what's going on with them in their business. So our next page shows just a few of the things that we had fun with this last quarter. We were able to be with the American Legion as they honored Janice Hahn by renaming their American Legion Hall after her and giving her the Golden Wreath Medal. We were with our El Clasificado team as they hosted a Hispanic Business Owners Expo at the Norwalk Arts and Sports Complex, and they recognized 37 years as a business with their headquarters here in Norwalk. The middle one was the celebration of our longtime chamber member, Julia Emerson from Southern California Gas Company, who just retired after many years serving us. She was a president of the chamber twice, so we appreciate everything that she's done, and I hear a rumor that she might sign up as an individual member, so we haven't seen the last of Julia yet. We were able to be with our member, John Alba, to celebrate 2 of his employees and their 20-year anniversaries with the company, so that was special. And then with Artesia Cemetery District as they unveiled their brand new niche container. If you haven't seen it yet, it's beautiful. And there's a central area where people with lower incomes are able to spread their ashes in that central area. They'll be commingled with other ashes and they can hold up to 1,200 sets of ashes. So if you know anybody that's a lower income person looking for a good alternative, talk to Artesia Cemetery District. And then our Women in Business breakfast, where our Vice Mayor was one of our speakers, along with Iso Nakasato from Athens. We had Berenice, I'm going to say her name right, Berenice from Altamed, and we had our Dr. Don Green from Cerritos College speak. And then our YMCA just recently held 2 of their Healthy Kids Days, where they bring in the community to find out about the summer programs that the Y is offering, the different sports programs, sign them up for basketball, and get a lot of information about health options for kids and adults at that event. So those were both a lot of fun. Our next slide shows a couple of our new members that we welcomed into the chamber this last quarter. Expedia Cruises took over on Rosecrans Avenue right next to Adelito's restaurant. And so they are a brand new member offering cruise packages at a great deal. Less Tires and Wheels, another new member on Rosecrans. Rosecrans is very popular right now, offering tires and wheels at great prices. The tax sale master, you'll meet him. He's going to be doing one of our workshops coming up, teaching people how to financially afford to buy distressed properties and turn them into financial resources for their families. So that'll be interesting. And then, of course, the ribbon cutting for our new member Trip.com group, which was attended by our council member Margarita Rios, and we welcome them into the shiny glass building over on Imperial. So our next page is our legislative activity. We continue, of course, to partner with our Gateway Chambers Alliance. We have our upcoming legislative meet and greet scheduled for August 14th at the Southern California Gas Company facility in Downey. I know a few of you are slated to attend, so we hope that you make it by just to meet business and community leaders from all the parts of the Gateway region that are part of our Chambers of Commerce. And then Cal Chamber has been busy. This Friday is the day that any bills have to leave their house of origin in order to go to the next house to be looked at by that house in Sacramento. There's a lot of activity going up in Sacramento right now. One of the biggest ones for us as a chamber and for our partners is SB 310 by Senator Scott Wiener. And this legislation, I'm just going to read you a few things from our floor report. It's a new private right of action. So PAGA, we know about PAGA. And last year, the legislator, the labor, and the businesses worked together on PAGA reforms. SB 92 and AB 2288 were signed into law to help relieve employers of undue penalties and to help bring more dollars into the pockets of the workers who have actually been hurt by labor code violations. SB 310 offers a new private right of action. It undermines the PAGA reform. We've been having meetings almost every other day with our Cal Chamber and all the partners on this to oppose this bill. So we're hopeful that by Friday it doesn't make it out of their house of origin. Our SQAMD rules that they're looking at this June 6th, also on Friday, Rule 1111 and 1121. We're hearing a lot about that from our coalition that we're a part of that has to do with affordable living in California. And these rules will have a big impact on the cost of water heaters, furnaces, and things like that in California with the emission rules that they'll be bringing in. And while the AQMD will like to say that the cost for replacing things is only going to be about $4 over the life of the time that you have the water heater or the furnace, for a lot of people, that upfront cost increasing by $250 to $350 is detrimental, especially for our lower income families. So we're opposed to that, and we're hopeful that that may not make it through, but we don't know. And then thirdly, our Delta Conveyance Project. So you've all heard about water. We had a little water today, actually, so that was kind of fun. But water is an issue for Southern California. And the rules in California are very difficult for our water companies to create new ways to get water to us, new ways to save water, new ways to store water. We have not built new dams 30 to 40 years. This Delta Conveyance Project will allow streamlining of many different parts of the process and allow the water to be brought to us quicker and safer. So we're joining in with about 100 other organizations, including our water companies, to support simplifying this Delta Conveyance Project and trying to prevent unnecessary litigation. So those are our key items for legislative activity over the past few months. And then we continue our member relationship building. We have our coffee and conversation coming up in about 3 weeks on June 26th at Chick-fil-A. You're all invited, 9 a.m. for coffee. We have been doing new member meet and greets, creating connection luncheons. Thank you to Rick Ramirez for attending our last one at El Taco Loco. We partnered with the California Department of Tax and Fee Administration and put on a sales tax use workshop here in Norwalk. There was about 75 people that attended. And then we have member events and workshops, 2 of which I just mentioned the one with our new member. The other one is going to be a Let's Talk Trash seminar. So we're partnering with Athens Services on June 26 at 12 noon. There'll be a workshop on Zoom to learn about SB 1383, which there's still an education process going on with SB 1383. So just to let our businesses know the rules that are coming and that will affect them. So we now have our upcoming events. June 18th, our 102nd annual awards and installation of officers. It's going to be at the Doubletree Hotel, 6 p.m. on that June 18th. We have our city manager again serving as our installing officer for our board members, so we're very excited about that. And I know a few of you are attending, so we're happy that you'll be there with us. As I mentioned, coffee and conversation. We're scheduling an after-hours networking mixer at Milagro Theaters. That'll be on Monday, July 14th, so we're working on that. And then, of course, our annual business expo in partnership with our Department of Parks and Recreation on August 6th with the summer concert at Norwalk Park. So a lot of activities coming up that we're looking forward to seeing many of your faces at. And at this time, we just want to thank you again for your ongoing support for the Norwalk Chamber of Commerce, for the business community, and for all of us that are here. And with that, I want to just introduce our board president, Jason Perez, who's with us today, Mr. Rosewood Family Restaurant. Jason. And behind him, with our partnership with Celico Workforce Development Board, we have our chamber intern, Paris Farino, who has been working with the chamber for a few weeks now. We look to hopefully have her long term. So those partnerships are valuable, and they bring great resources to us. And with that, we can turn around and help others. So that concludes our presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions. All right, thank you.
Karen, thank you for that update. Appreciate it. Our next item is we thought we'd give you a peek preview of a citywide community survey. This is just a very summarized presentation. We will have a full report coming to you, but we wanted to give you a peek at the survey. Mr. Alan Perdomo will present, and this is a new way of looking at residents and seeing what they're wanting to have here in their community. So with that, Alan?
So good evening, Mayor and Council and everyone in attendance. Like the city manager just mentioned, this would be a snapshot of our citywide community survey that took place a couple months ago. So the purpose of the survey was to deliver the best quality programs, facilities, and customer service to residents and the surrounding communities to utilize us for their leisure activities. Designed to gather insights that will shape our decisions for the next few years, the survey will enable us to improve our recreational programs, parks, and facilities, understand the diverse needs and preference of our community members, and lastly, proactively ensure that our parks and programs remain safe and operate at a high standard for today's community and for future generations. So here's a quick little snapshot of our timeline. We branded the survey with the title Park Your Thoughts and Shape the Future of Fun. And we actually kicked it off at our TASTIC on Friday, March 14th, and we actually ended it on April 30th to create some sort of incentive to, kind of a little elbow nudge to our community members. We're going to raffle $50 gift cards, and that will be happening this Friday. The survey was also available in English, Spanish, and Tagalog. So we wanted to kind of provide different languages. Regarding the survey locations, we actually had multiple locations where we were promoting the survey. So all of our city parks, we had posters, A-frame banners with a QR code. You can snap a picture and just get to work on that survey. If you walked into Norwalk Arts and Sports Complex, we actually built like a self-kiosk, and we had some iPads, and you can do it at your leisure. Some of our staff kind of became in and out drive-through employees with a little sling and an iPad around their neck, and they were actually proactively going to all the different members and asking for their opinion and kind of hounding them down a little bit. So we wanted to get as many responses as we could. We also went out and we outreach a lot of our events, or like I mentioned, our TASTIC, our egg extravagant egg hunt, a lot of our youth sports programs, and our Parks and Recreation and our Historical Heritage Commission. So let's get to the actual data. So we actually had 1,150 surveys submitted by community members. So that's a very strong percentile. Out of that number, 87% were residents and 13% were not residents. So at least that's how they identify themselves in the survey. The overall quality of life in Norwalk was given a 4.3 stars. Thank you. Forget I have to do both. And in the overall rating of our Norwalk parks, that received a 4.7. And actually, before I continue, all the questions were on our star rating system. We kind of realized when you go to Yelp or Google, stars is kind of something very common that people use to rate. So we use that same metric. So everything's a 4.2 star or a 4.07 star. And then one of the questions we asked was, what's the most visited park in 2024? So out of the respondents, Norwalk Park, I can clearly get the Norwalk Arts and Sports Complex is home to Norwalk Park, so that is kind of, you can see that high number there. Followed by Holyfield Park, it's home to our baseball leagues, a lot of high attendance, as all of you know. And then Gary's Park, same thing, home to our second largest baseball league and our AR program. So our three biggest parks, as you can see, clearly the highest attendance. Then we also asked a little bit more, we kind of changed the question and we kind of asked them, how many times did you visit the park per month in 2024? So as you can see on the bottom, there's a key. It's once per month, 2 to 3 times per month. The orange color is 4 times a month, and the gray is a few times a year. And again, Holyfield Park and Norwalk Park are the highest attended with a couple times a month. And again, that's given the programming that those two parks program. If you look at the least attended park was Bob White Park and Ramona Park. So the next couple of slides are really interesting because they really give us an insight of to have an honest conversation with ourselves of what are we doing right and some areas of improvement. So we asked them to rate our cleanliness of a lot of different amenities. So I want to mention that picnic shelters, restrooms, and trash cans, those are highlighted in red, and those score about a 3.7, 3.2, and a 3.7. So we have some work to do on that, and I'll talk a little bit about some of the things we're going to do to try to get us to over 4 stars. Trees was 4.3, so we're doing a good job there. If you go to the next category, something that we already know we do a good job is our baseball, softball diamonds. So those got a 4.2 star. Our landscaping and our parkways, 4.2. And again, that's thanks to our public services department that does a tremendous job keeping our open space very clean and beautiful. And then you can see on the bottom, our lighting, parking lots, playgrounds, right below 4 stars. The next question we asked them was, how would you rate the safety of our parks? So out of 972 respondents responded to that question, and they rated the safety of our parks at 3.7 star. And we asked them, which park do you consider the most unsafe? And 21% had said Hermosillo Park, followed by Gertie's, and then Vista Verde. I do want to mention that 46% of people did not vote for an unsafe park, so it tells you half the population does not think that the parks are unsafe. Then we're going to get a little bit into Norwalk Arts and Sports Complex next. So out of the respondents, 27% had a membership to the Norwalk Arts and Sports Complex, and that 27% reported that the cleanliness is 4.6, and the customer service by our staff is 4.6. So those are really good high metrics. Then we wanted to see kind of what is the most popular amenity, why people are going to Norwalk Arts and Sports Complex. Definitely, clearly, by a large percentage is the weight room. That is the most popular thing, and I encourage all of you to go in the mornings and the evenings. You can see a lot of people working out. Followed by the basketball gym, and then clearly facility and showers and lockers kind of align with the weight room, so you see that coming in number 3rd. Then we did ask them a follow-up question, what are some things that we can do? So these are summaries. One of the most popular questions that we received is better gym equipment, better machines for the weight room to upgrade to clean it. We do provide amazing pickleball nets, so I'm not sure what people said we did not have pickleball nets, but that was a very common question, so we have to look at that. Cleanliness, increase our hours, online membership enrollment instead of in person, a light in the parking lot, and then open gym for volleyball. So those are very common overall responses. Then we also asked them about the Cultural Arts Center. So 29% of the people that responded did, go to the Cultural Arts Center, and they rate their experience at 4.6 stars. And again, some of the things we can improve is a lot of different classes you can see here. I'll just name a few: clay classes, cooking classes, drawing classes, teen classes, a lot of different classes you can tell. Then let's move on to the aquatic pavilion. So it was actually very interesting that out of all the people that responded, 52% of total respondents actually go to the Norwalk Arts and Sports Complex, which is our highest rated facility overall. And they rate the cleanliness at 4.5 and their experience at 4.5 as well. And this one's really interesting. The two most popular reasons why they go to Norwalk Aquatic Pavilion is basically recreational swim, which is just open swim, and that really activates beginning next Monday when our official summer season begins, and then followed by swim classes for our youth, and then followed by our dive and movie night event. And then you see a massive drop in a lot of our aquatics programming. But so you can see there's clearly two major programs that kind of get everything. I'm so sorry. There we go. So you can see kind of the results there for swim and youth. And then again, same thing, we asked them, how can we improve that? So some of the responses, more hours, less student to teacher ratio, water polo, swimming competitions, youth classes all year long, private lessons, swim leagues, improve increased bathrooms. I'm not sure what that means. More lab classes. So those are some of the overall arching comments. Then we asked them, you know, did you attend our special events? And the most attended special event was our 4th of July Independence Festival. And again, it is our highest attended event, so that kind of aligns with something we already know. Followed by our Halloween festivals. As you know, we do 3 of them every year at 3 different locations throughout the city. And followed by summer concerts. And then our 2 least attended events are Memorial Day and Veterans Day ceremony. So that's a quick snapshot. Some of the next steps, we'll be presenting this same presentation to the Parks and Recreation Commission next Thursday, June 12th. Then on July 15th, I will be presenting a full report of all the information, all the data with the findings on our city website. And if the city council, I can come back and also give a very detailed report presentation to all of you if you like. And then we're going to begin following up with residents. We did receive a lot of comments from a lot of residents, and we asked them, you know, can we call you back? So we're going to start making those phone calls on July 15th. We're going to create a kind of a task force within our department to address a lot of these issues that were reported. And then we want to work with our Public Safety and Public Services Department, Public Safety and Public Services Department to begin analyzing the data so we can start making some evidence-based decisions on changing some of the things. For example, the bathrooms were rated very low, so what can we do to have cleaner and safer bathrooms for our community? Same thing with our playgrounds as well. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Mayor, I have a quick question. Alan, thank you for the presentation, and I'm glad to see that we're going to go in more detail and really get our commission involved. The one thing that I want to ask is, now that we have this data, the best way for us to know if we improved is a plan to have another survey. So do we have an idea already of when the next survey is to see how we've improved from these results to compare them to next year?
So our goal is hopefully in a year and a half from now, give us ourselves at least 12 to 18 months to make these improvements and then launch. And it is a very intensive process. So about a year and a half, maybe 2 years, we do it again to see kind of where the measurements.
Thank you. And I think we have the equipment now.
Yes,
and
we have a lot of iPads.
We have a lot of iPads, so it'd be a shame to not continue to use them in different avenues, whether it's various community surveys at our events coming up in the summer, et cetera. And especially having now contact information, how can we use that contact information for data resourcing in future? Thank you.
If I may add too, thank you, Alan, for the survey. Great information. One thing I'd like to add is maybe look at the hours of operation for the gym to increase the participation. I know it's restricted by age in the early mornings, and I've gotten a lot of feedback. A lot of people would love to attend it, but they're restricted because they don't meet that age requirement. So maybe perhaps opening it up to all ages so that they get their workout early in the morning. As I know they, if you can give me some info, what's the age group in the morning? Is it 50 the seniors?
Yes, so we actually, that's been the traditional from 8 a.m. to 11 was senior hours.
Yeah.
A year ago, we actually opened the sports complex at 6 a.m. So now from 6 to 8, it's open to all ages.
Okay, perfect.
So you'll see actually a lot of our city staff there, which is really great to see that, working out with a lot of members. So it's actually picking up on numbers. We actually have some averages. We've been averaging about 362 unique membership check-ins the last 12 months. Pretty good. It's an average about 15, 20. So we have been making some of those changes as well.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for the presentation, Ellen. You know that I love our parks. I love our parks, and just because that's where, you know, memories are made. And I think the survey overall, I did complete the survey, by the way, and it was pretty easy to complete. I think I used a QR code. It was a QR code as well, right? Yeah. And so, but I think a lot of the information, the results are a little kind of broad, very informational, but also a little bit broad in the sense that I really want to hone in on, you know, what do we need to look at or consider for those parks that maybe don't get as much traffic? You know, is there something that that particular neighborhood community of residents are looking for? Hence, amenities. You know, what amenities do our residents want to see? A lot of residents ask me for pickleball courts, you know, and different things, you know, exercise equipment. There's a lot of things, you know, and I like that in the beginning of your presentation, you mentioned we're looking into the many years into the future, right? We are planning now for what we envision this to look like. And we have a very young age base in our community, and we're drawing on families that have youngsters, and, you know, so I think parks are for everybody, but it's not a one-size-fits-all, right? So I think that that's something to be aware of as we have the diversity and the different locations of our parks, finding out, you know, what type of amenities do residents want to see. You know, our sports complex is great, it's beautiful, but, you know, a lot of families look for the outdoors, a shady tree, a picnic, a fun playground, a walkway, you know, a sport activity, you know, to stay active. So, and so that leads me to our park master plan, which, you know, is something that I introduced, you know, along with the city manager, and it was something that we got started so that we have a plan, basically, that kind of guides us in the direction that we hope we're meeting those needs and services that our community wants to see. So is this going to be used for, you know, the work that we're doing in our parks master plan? Number one, question. Number two, can we expect an update soon on our park master plan to see where we are, is specifically for Norwalk Park, because I know that the community has been waiting anxiously, you know, what are we doing? When is it going to get done? How are we, you know, and as your survey showed, that is a park that's very well attended, right? I never had a doubt about that. But again, we're always looking at least for me, how do we improve the experience? So the information is great. Now, I'm just wondering your plans and thoughts on how you're going to build upon that so that we get closer to our vision.
Yeah, so I can answer a few of your questions. Number one, yes, we can definitely provide a council an update on park projects and see where we're at. So I can definitely work with Glenn and city manager and present that in an upcoming city council meeting. Number two, the city council did approve an agreement with David Bowles Design, and we're going to be doing two master plans, one for Norwalk Park as we pursue the Land and Water Fund, which is a grant administered to the National Park Service. Mm-hmm. So we're actually going to have community engagement meetings in the next couple of weeks in June and July. So we're going to pursue in that grant to hopefully, you know, redo the park master plan for Norwalk Park and apply for federal funding. Secondly, we're also going to be doing a community engagement for the 15 acres next to Holyfield Park. Mm-hmm. We received grant through the county to be able to do that, so that's great. They're paying for it. And then, so those are two really great areas where we can improve our parks, and we're going to be using this data and put it into that community engagement process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then as Councilmember Perez mentioned, Vice Mayor, that follow-up, what's next? Knowing what we know now, how do we follow up to get even more, how do we build upon this survey? And of course, that building upon the survey gives us the information, I think, as I mentioned, gets us closer to our vision, to beautify and keep safe our parks. And I know that, there was a mention, there was a rating on the landscape for our parks, but I don't remember the question. So do you know if it was in line with the question of cleanliness, or was it overall just the landscape? Do you like the design? Do you like the trees? Do you like the bushes? Was there a specific question about cleanliness at our parks? Do you think they're clean, basically?
Yeah, so that was the question that I referenced earlier. I can go back to it if you put the presentation back on. Yeah, that was something that we asked regarding. Let me go to it. So I think this one. So we did ask the question about cleanliness, which is on your screen now. And that question was just to ask how we're doing. I think the one thing is I'm a big believer, before we build anything new, let's perfect what we have before we add anything else. So let's make sure that whatever we have, we're taking care of it before we add any more buildings or new things. We love the ribbon cuttings, but let's take care of our own items first before we add anything else. So that was kind of the purpose with the design of the survey.
Yes, and I'm going to take this opportunity for a PSA. Everybody out there listening, our residents, our community members, please help us keep our parks clean. Please. Those are for everyone to enjoy. If you have a pet and you walk your pet to a park, please make sure you're a good pet owner and you pick up after your pet so that all of us can safely enjoy our parks. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Perdomo. Thank you for the discussion. Next, we have a Memorial Day event recap video for you to see and to show our community, those that were unable to attend. We'd like to share that with them.
On Memorial Day, the Norwalk community came together to honor the extraordinary courage of our nation's fallen heroes, those who answered the call of duty and gave their lives in defense of our freedoms. This year's ceremony took place in a new location, in front of the Norwalk Cultural Arts Center, where residents, veterans, and community leaders gathered in solemn remembrance.
Memorial Day is a solemn moment of remembrance and a time to express gratitude to those who sacrificed so much for our country. We owe so much to them, a debt that words alone can never repay. May God bless our Norwalk community, and may God bless the United States of America.
Marine Corporal David Rodriguez served as this year's keynote speaker, offering heartfelt reflections on sacrifice, strength, and what it means to serve.
This is such an important day because we're not remembering just the men and women that have served our country, but we're remembering the Norwalk servicemen and women who perished while serving this nation.
The ceremony also featured a 21-gun salute, an emotional and powerful tribute to the lives lost in service to our country.
Ready? Aim. Fire.
As we reflect on the meaning of Memorial Day, may we carry the memory of our fallen heroes with pride, and may we continue to honor their legacy by living with purpose, compassion, and gratitude. We thank everyone who attended and helped make this meaningful event possible, and we remain forever grateful to those who gave their lives in defense of our freedoms.
Thank you. We wanted to share that for those that were unable to attend. Next, we wanted to share a PSA. 4th of July is coming up, and we wanted to just make sure that we all have a safe 4th of July, and wanted to highlight the fact that illegal fireworks are not to be lit here in the city of Norwalk, and if they are, the fines are pretty steep. And so we want to show the PSA beginning today. It'll be on social media and up to the 4th of July. So with that,
This 4th of July, let's celebrate with pride and with safety. The City of Norwalk is asking all residents to say no to dangerous and illegal fireworks. They're not just loud, they're illegal, and they can cause serious injuries, devastating fires, and damage to homes and businesses. If you light them, store them, sell them, or even allow them on property you rent or control, you could face arrest, criminal citations, and fines up to $5,000. Let's keep our neighborhoods safe. If you see illegal fireworks, you can report them anonymously by calling Norwalk Public Safety at 562-929-5732. Celebrate safe and have a happy 4th of July.
and so to offset that, we have our 4th of July event, which will be July 3rd, and it'll be at Holyfield Park, and we're all inviting everyone to come and enjoy that festivity rather than doing illegal fireworks. So thank you for that. The next and last is the biweekly review video, and with that, we'll go ahead and show that.
On May 29th, the Norwalk Senior Center hosted an Animal Kingdom Trivia Night, where participants put their knowledge to the test with fun and challenging animal-themed questions. That same evening, the Social Services Center held a Mini Me and Mama event, giving moms and their little ones a special opportunity to create a memorable craft together. The second annual Norwalk 5K run took place on June 1st, bringing the community together for a fun and active day. Kids kicked things off with a 1K dash, followed by a 5K run for adults. The Runners Village was packed with energy, food trucks, and free giveaways, making it a memorable experience for everyone who attended. On June 2nd, students from Lakeland Elementary took over City Hall for the day. They toured several departments, met with city staff, and even got to meet with Mayor Tony Ayala.
Mayor Ayala, members of the City Council, that concludes all my comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next item is consent calendar.
I'll move it.
Second.
I have a roll call. Ms. DeVoy?
Yes, Councilmembers Ramirez.
Aye.
Rios.
Aye.
Valencia.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Perez.
Aye.
And Mayor Ayala.
Aye. Okay, we have, does anybody have any appointments to advisory bodies? Council? Seeing none, we'll go to item 14. Now it's time for a public hearing to consider resolution number 25-18, approving the Community Development Block Grant and Home Investment Partnership Program 5-year 2025-2029 consolidated plan, fiscal year 2025-2026 annual action plan, and authorizing the city manager to execute and transmit all required documents.
Honorable, sorry.
What's that?
Yeah, staff report will be provided by Mr. Alex Hamilton.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jesus. Honorable Mayor and City Council, tonight is the final presentation for your consideration and adoption of the 2025 Consolidated Plan
I feel like
and
we've been doing it
the
for 5 years.
fiscal year 25-26 Annual Action Plan and application for CDBG, which is Community Development Block Grant and Home Funding. As background to this, CDBG and home recipients must submit a consolidated plan every 5 years and an annual action plan every year that they apply for federal funds for HUD approval. The consolidated plan outlines the city's economic development, infrastructure, housing, and social service needs and priorities for the next 5 years, while the annual action plan lists the activities that the city will undertake with housing and urban development funds in year 1 of the consolidated plan. The priority needs and goals of the 2025 consolidated plan are shown here. Number 1, to provide decent, affordable housing. increasing affordable housing opportunities among those, supports special needs programs and services by providing vital support services, construct or upgrade public facilities and infrastructure by enhancing community facilities, and creating public awareness of fair housing laws and regulations. The next goal is create job-generating businesses and job training by enhancing economic development opportunities, creating homeless prevention programs and services, maintaining and promoting neighborhood preservation by preserving, rehabilitating, and enhancing neighborhoods. The annual action plan, which is the FY 25-26, details the specific activities to be implemented to meet the community needs and priorities of the 5-year consolidated plan. It also demonstrates how these activities align with federal priorities and national objectives, provides funding amounts for each activity, and summarizes the anticipated outcome of each activity. For the Community Development Block Grant and Home programs, the city receives CDBG called Block Grant and Home Investment Partnership program funds from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development called HUD. For CDBG fiscal year 25-26, it's 1.45 million is estimated. Of that, the entitlement amount is $940,871, and the program income carryover is $510,000. For the home funds for fiscal year 25-26, it is $832,538 is estimated, of which entitlement funding is $242,049, and program income or carryover is $590,488. These are activities that were identified and shown to you earlier this year for the 2025-26 annual action plan. It outlines the CDBG programs and activities and the funding amount that we're recommending. The only addition which represents a carryover of funds from a prior year is a demolition project of $480,000 for a total of $1,405,871,000. For the 25-26 annual action plan home project activities, there's program administration that's capped at 10%, which is $24,204. There's community development housing organization called a CHODO, which is 15% minimum at $36,307. There's security deposit assistance of $30,000, and there's an affordable housing project to be determined. This is, again, a carryover of $742,025 for a total of $832,538. As a bit of information, any funding adjustments at the City Council, you can modify or cancel funding to activities, but you cannot add activities without a 30-day public review period. The deadline to submit this plan to Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, is by July 13th of 2025, and any substantial amendment can be considered for future revisions to approved activity. As it relates to fiscal impact, the CDBG and home funds are funded solely by the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. There is no impact to the general fund. This is an outline of the citizens advised that was covered previously. There was notice of public hearing, and the document was available for draft review and published in the Norwalk Patriot and La Opinion on February 28, 2025, and posted at City Hall and on the city website. The consolidated plan and annual action plan were made available at City Hall, our Social Services Center, and the Norwalk Regional Library from the dates indicated for citizen review and comment. And the notice of this final public hearing for the plans was published in the Norwalk Patriot and La Opinion on May 16, 2025, as well as posted at City Hall and the city website. At this time, staff recommends that the City Council adopt resolution number 2518, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Norwalk approving the Community Development Block Grant and Home Investment Partnerships Program 5-year 2025 through 2029 Consolidated Plan and the fiscal year 2025-2026 Annual Action Plan, and authorizing the city manager to execute and transmit all required documents to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, and B, authorize the Director of Community Development to execute the Memorandum of Understanding with city departments and sub-recipient agreements with public service agencies for the provision of services funded under the Annual Action Plan. Be more than happy to answer any questions should you have them.
We'll get to that in a minute. Ms. DeVoy, can you please provide the noticing report?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Actually, Mr. Hamilton did report part of that as far as the publishing and posting requirements. I'm not sure if he mentioned that the plan was also available for inspection from March 25th through April 25th. The city has received no communications in my office, and I don't believe in the Community Development Office. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any cards on anybody wishing to speak on this? Is there anybody in the audience in general wanting to speak to this item?
I don't believe that there are any cards, but the only
Okay.
ones I have are the ones I turned into.
Okay. Then, seeing that, now it comes back to the council. Does the council have any questions?
Move it.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmembers Ramirez?
Aye.
Rios?
Aye.
Valencia?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Perez?
Aye.
Mayor Ayala?
Aye. Okay, item 15. Project number 7234, approve amendments. Amendment number 2 for Studebaker Road traffic signal improvements, Kenny Street to Rosecrans Avenue, federal project number HSIPL-5347, parentheses 0441, engineers report number 25-09. Staff report, please.
Yes, Mayor Ayala and members of the City Council, Mr. Gillingham will present items 15 and 16.
Thank you, Jesus. Good evening, Mayor and Council. So, brief background for you for this regarding this project. we refer to it as CIP number 7234 in the budget. The background of the project is it's to complete traffic signal improvements along Studebaker. Council had originally approved a contract in December 2022 for the construction. Value of the contract was $1,579,769.20. I mention that because when we have these type of projects in the street, we're doing excavation. We don't know what we're going to encounter. When we made the recommendation contract to you, we also requested a 20% contingency to cover any unknowns. We don't know what we get into until we actually cut the street open, and then we find things there from the past or things that were built and that weren't properly recorded on plans.
Glenn, can I ask that you move your mic a little closer? It's a little hard to hear.
Is that better?
Maybe.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I'll start at the contingency. I apologize for that. So we request a contingency in regards to the type of the work. When we do any roadway work, when we excavate, we're not sure exactly what's going to be there. It's based upon the information that's put on any as-built plans. Not everything is captured, and that we end up with that. And we deal with it that way. The purpose of the contingency so that we don't have to keep coming back to council, and then that causes delay to the project, and that generates another cost. With that said, with the 20% contingency of the amount there, it brings the total construction project to $1,895,723.20. Purpose I brought that up for is on this project, there have been approximately 12 change orders that occurred and for various things while the construction was taking place. The value of the construction change orders to date are just over, actually, I'll say they are $315,473.23. The contingency amount, when we had it there, it was enough to cover that, with acceptance of the last change order number 13. When we processed change orders 1 through 12, there was approximately $480, some change left. The change order came in, the most recent one at 13, at $17,590, which is why we're here today. We request from you the additional $17,190.23. The project is substantially complete. There's no further change orders anticipated during the project closeout. That'll be our next action to bring that to you when we will close out and we complete the project. Funding for the project, it came from the sources of Measure R, Measure M, and also from the city itself with its street renovation fund. With that, the recommended action from staff to council for consideration is to approve the amendment number 1 to the contract, which will increase the contract value from the $1,579,096.20 to $1,596,878.43 to cover that change order. And secondly, if you would consider to authorize city manager to execute the amendment, provided there's funds available in the budget and the agreement is in the form was approved by the city attorney. With that, I'll answer any questions you may have.
Yeah, I have one. I think a resident drives down Studebaker, right? And once all these things are completed and whatnot, how is that individual's experience going to change compared to what it is now?
With the traffic signal improvements along the corridor, Studebaker, traffic should move in a more coordinated manner with the segments on either side of those improvements. Because we'll have the ability, one of the keys is that the existing traffic signal controllers in the cabinets, they're dated or aged. They're maintained very well by staff, but they can only keep up so much as when we effect new improvements, we're bringing on the latest current generation of controllers. So those controllers combined with the new controllers enables a little more sophistication in the phasing or the phasing throughout the intersection, such as your left turn movements, how much green we allow, how much lead or lag we're putting into that. So it should provide for better coordination and movement across the corridor.
That's good news, because Studebaker has always been a heavily traveled street, but it's gotten more so and more so, over the years. And you're right, there's certain places on the street that, because of phasing and stuff like that, that you have cars stuck, and it takes 2 or 3 cycles to be able to get through the intersection, especially at certain times of the day in the afternoon. So that's very good news.
The other thing I'd like to add, Mayor, is that what it also does is it enhances the safety travel along the corridor. With better coordination, we can allow more, I'll say, gap the traffic as it's moving along between crossing of through traffic and the cross traffic. We provide better gap, it provides for safer passage through there.
That's good news. Any other questions? None? Do we have a motion, second?
Move it.
Roll call, please.
Councilmembers Ramirez,
Aye.
Rios.
Aye.
Valencia.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Perez.
Aye.
Mayor Ayala.
Aye. Item 16, project number 7235- amendment number 3, designer construction support services for intelligent transportation systems, improvements along Imperial Highway from San Gabriel River to Shoemaker Avenue. Engineers report number 25-10. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Mayor and Council again. This right here, it shows the corridor that is of the subject for us today. We refer to it as ITS, just to Intelligent Transportation Systems. That's a lot to say all the time. So the segment is along Imperial from the San Gabriel River all the way across to Shoemaker. If I recall correctly, when I first came on here, and I've been here 6 years now, this project was already in motion back then. It takes a lot of coordination to get across the corridor. I'll say the predecessor, before I sit holding the city engineer's title, Bill Zimmerman, he started this project back then. What's critical, I bring that up, is because our border stops at Bloomfield. But he, in wisdom and what was occurring back then, they took it past the Shoemaker and talking with the city of Santa Fe Springs. It allows to provide, similar to the HSIP projects, good coordination across that corridor. A little background, the corridor runs about 100,000 ADT, that's your average daily traffic. That's how much volume is coming across there every day. So, with that said, for this project here, there's an original design agreement with Advantech. They provide the design services for the improvements along the corridor. There are multiple intersections that are going to be affected by this, and also I'll use the word improved when this occurs. Their scope is to prepare the plans and specifications to affect those improvements. The specs will be quite thick. This is a very large corridor, and it's a very wide corridor. For your consideration tonight is amendment number 3, but there have been 3 amendments total. Amendment number 1 was for extension of the time to do the work. There was a number 2 that incurred additional segments along the highway. We thought that it's prudent that if we're there, you're going to have traffic control. It's going to cause disruption. I'm sorry to say that, but improvement does require that sometimes to create the safe work zone to complete those improvements and the trenching work out there. And for tonight, we present to you for consideration is request 3 is to provide the ability to have the engineer, what we call construction engineering, or the support service while the project is under construction. The values of those previous 2 amendments, number 1 was no cost to or no additional cost to the design services. The original contract is $381,460. The amendment number 2 regarding the additional work on the segments along the corridor, valued at $157,180. The value for the current consideration from staff or to provide the design services is $25,620. The total revised new contract, if you approve, will be at $564,268. We're anticipating the projects to be completed within the next month and a half, 2 months total. And I mean complete, we're ready to let it out bid. We anticipate bidding this project out in August this year. It's a long overdue project. We get this done. When it completes, now we can come back and pave the corridor. We've been holding off the pavement of the improved corridor, and you can see it's showing its time now, and that'll be coming in the future in 2 phases. This is the fiscal impact. Some of the funding sources against the project has a total value of about just under $8 million. It involves Prop C, Measure R, Metro version Measure R, and again, the street renovation funds. For your consideration tonight is as follows. Staff recommends City Council approve amendment number 3 to the agreement with Advantech Consulting Engineers, Inc. in the amount of $25,260 to provide design services for Imperial Highway Intelligent Transportation System from San Gabriel River to Shoemaker Avenue, City Project number 7235, for a total not to exceed contract amount of $564,268, and authorize the city manager to execute amendment number 3 with Advantech Consulting Engineers, Inc. on behalf of the city in a form approved by the city attorney. That concludes my presentation. Be happy to answer further questions.
Thanks, Glenn. I think this is so important because I think a majority of the questions I get in general have to do with traffic and the condition of our roads. Those 2 by far are what's brought up to me. So I just want to make sure that the staff, that you're able to report on the progress of these so that people are aware that we're doing these kinds of improvements, that we're out there making an effort to fix our streets as quick as we can. Because like I said, it's one of the things that I hear the most now is having to do with those topics. So it's great to do something, but we got to let people know we're doing it too, so we can bring them along and be part of the process. So thank you for that. Any questions from council?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Rick.
Okay, just to piggyback on what the mayor is talking about, we receive a lot of inquiries about traffic and the congestion along the Imperial Corridor from Shoemaker, actually from San Gabriel to Shoemaker. Specifically, I want to address the Pioneer Imperial intersection. With the expansion of the I-5 and the redirection of the on-ramps and off-ramps of that section has been greatly impacted with the signal synchronization. Will this address that as well?
Yes, it will. It will do that.
Because we do get a lot of cars blocking the intersection because of the synchronizations at the, what's that cutoff right after the freeway? Frontage? Is that Frontage Way?
I believe so, yes. You're referring to the...
Yeah. So Imperial and Frontage where it cuts through, somehow the signals aren't synchronizing and we get the traffic built up all over in the intersection of Pioneer and Imperial that actually bleeds all the way towards Firestone and Imperial. And so that's been greatly impacting the traffic congestion along that major corridor. So hoping that this will address that as well. Thank you.
Glenn, the only thing that I would add, and you touched on it briefly, and so did the mayor, is communication. So the team that worked on the expansion and the improvement of the Firestone Bridge, with the change of the traffic lanes, the widening of the bridge, the change of the direction of the lanes, they over-communicated with the street signs, the barriers, the public communication signs, the trailers, and it was amazing. And I think because of that over-communication, it has gone so smoothly and very directive on how the flow of traffic is going to be during the construction period. Because Imperial is one of our highest and most traveled highways, I know it's not going to be the amount of construction and the change, but I really think we still need to communicate any time that there is major activity, construction, timing projects, et cetera, on Imperial Highway. So I really hope that you guys plan to do the same sort of communication and education from the start of this project to all the way to the repaving when it's at that time, because I really think it gives patience and understanding and anticipation when it comes to changes, especially on Imperial.
We'll certainly do that.
Any other comments? If not, okay, there you go.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Councilmembers Ramirez?
Aye.
Rios?
Aye.
Valencia?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Perez?
Aye.
Mayor Ayala?
Aye. We go to oral communications. Richard Lambert.
Mayor, Councilman, ladies and gentlemen present, and all those who are watching. In 2005, I had a contractor do me wrong. It's now 2025. Still bothered by it. 6 years ago, on June the 6th, I was found not guilty by a judge who said this was not a crime. They sent me, I was in jail for 8 months, 1 week, and 4 days before they even looked at the video of my crime. Sent me to San Bernardino because I'm a mental case. They gave me this little blue wristband. I'm a mental case. On my card, I put Trinities. Santa Anita, Manzanar, Amachi. My father-in-law, Jap, went to Santa Anita, lived in Santa Anita. I think they went to Manzanar. Maybe it was Amachi, but anyways. And I'd like to talk about the three Trinities, Holy Trinity, the Unholy Trinity, and the World's Trinity. The World's Trinity is greed, money, and sex. The Unholy Trinity is too many me, myself, and the Holy Trinity is self-explanatory. Everybody knows. And I have a Trinity: anger, frustration, and depression. I heard the President Biden say that it averages out to almost 22 vets a day committing suicide. Teresa, I wrote on here, please give a copy of these to the mayor, because this is an open letter to the mayor, the city council members, city attorney, city manager, city clerk, safety officer, and citizens of Norwalk. There's 19 pages. Anybody wants this? I meant 19 pages, not just 7 pages of the speech that I was going to give in the umpteenth times that I come here, but I want to celebrate recovery. It's a 12-step program. Makes you look at yourself. And it takes months to go through it. So that's why I haven't been here. Anyways, let me thank you and remind you, happy. I am still reveling in the fact that you sang happy birthday. And I'm still reveling about the guy who asked me in 2020, where have you been? We haven't seen you at city council meetings. But when he saw me in 2016 say, or ask for permission to detonate my IED on my private parts, he thought I was a mental case. But after watching me in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, I found out he doesn't think I'm a mental case. And then I'm also thankful for these cameras, because these cameras, they go all over the world. I even had somebody in Israel ask me, why do you call yourself Terrorist Rich? At the 3 minutes?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Lambert.
You.
Next speaker is Christina McKenna.
Good evening, City Council. My name is Christina McKenna, and I'm her grandmother. And I'm here for the reason that things were handled with HR. Karina Montes, she applied for a program for the summer program, and we brought all the documents that were needed. I was there at the orientation with her, and Karina Montes, she did the orientation. She's very, she has no compassion. I saw no compassion in her. I worked at, I volunteered at juvenile hall, and she spoke to these kids like they were, like they were in detention, a detention center. And we went to go, we brought all the documents that they needed. And then they called her like 5 days later, and that she had missed a document. But all the documents were there. So I don't know how they missed that document, what happened, how it was replaced, or what happened. But we came to talk to her, but she was at a meeting, so we spoke to Rivas. We spoke to Rivas, and we told her the situation, and she heard our situation, but she said she would call us back, and she never called back. Silence. We haven't heard from her yet, and because she was going to give us the update on what happened, because they said that they didn't get the documents. And we sent every document. I was there at the meeting, and every document was given to them, to Kathy in HR. And they said they didn't receive one document, so she didn't get the job for the summer job. And she was excited. These kids are excited, because they wanted to work for the summer. They were excited about it. They got all their documents. They got their TB test. They got their everything that they needed. But somehow there was a mishandling the documents, and they didn't get the job. And we're here because we're concerned. I'm concerned about these kids, because I know they need support. They need to. They were excited about it. This is not the first time that this happened to her. This is the second time, because last year there was a deadline about her birthday, and they changed the date, the deadline to May the 14th. And at first they said it was June the 2nd, but then she got a phone call that they had changed it to May the 14th. Her birthday is May the 16th. So these kids are being, we don't know what to do, because we are here to support these kids. My husband I worked for Little League for many years, you know, and we know the support that these kids need so they could function in the society. Some of them can't because they don't have two parents or something's going on with their lives. And for us to put them under the bus because they didn't have one document, nobody had the courtesy to call, you know, and to let us know what was going on, but to tell us that they didn't get the job. But my daughter had emailed them, she had tried to get a hold of them, and nothing was done. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Next speaker is Kushab Dalwadi.
Hello. All right. Good evening, Mayor and members of City Council. My name is Rushabh Dalwadi, and I reside at 14421 Carmenita Road here in Norwalk. I'm here tonight to personally share a critical issue affecting my home and the safety of our community on Carmenita Road. So my property is located on a stretch of Carmenita Road between Rosecrans Avenue and Excelsior Drive, a major street leading up directly to the Interstate 5 freeway. This area is surrounded by numerous factories, warehouses, logistics facilities, resulting in a constant flow of heavy commercial truck traffic. The problem, council members, is twofold and severe. First, this segment of Carmenita Road is in a very bad condition. It's filled with large, deep potholes. And when these commercial trucks hit these potholes, the impact creates heavy shock waves and vibrations that violently shakes up my entire home from the foundation up. This is a serious threat to the structural integrity of my home. Beyond my property, these potholes create excessive noise for all the residents and pose a serious safety hazard for every vehicle, especially smaller cars and pedestrians. Another issue is that commercial vehicles are constantly overspeeding leading up to the 5 freeway, right? This reckless driving amplifies the noise, escalates the safety risks, and intensifies the damaging vibrations to our homes. This situation is simply unacceptable and impacts our safety. So I'm here tonight to urge you guys to take 2 key actions. First, we need to immediately resurface the road. And second is to comprehensively look at traffic calming measures, right? So introducing red lights, increasing police enforcement to curb overspeeding, deploying speed trackers. So I urge you guys to do a comprehensive evaluation of this patch of road on Carpenita. I understand it's surrounded by logistic facilities. It's leading up to the 5, but there's like 20 to 25 homes on Carmenita Road, and it's definitely not safe for us residents here. That's all I had. Thank you so much. Right on time.
Thank you, Mr. Dewadi. Are his comments noted, Mr. Gomez? Okay.
I've also submitted a formal proposal for you guys to take a look at.
We
Thank
have
you so
it.
much.
Thank you. Next speaker, Naomi Ledesma. Is Naomi Ledesma here? If not, then that's our last speaker card. We are adjourned.